guys, I've seen both of them in much better matches. It just seemed they were both way off.
That's funny because we've been pretty positive towards the show tonight, actually. In particular, the Great War being very entertaining. We thought it kind of whizzed by. And I think one of the things that goes on with TNA and even with Ring of Honor, you're dealing with, an hour of TV a week, TNA 2 hours of TV a week. You only have these pay-per-views with TNA once every 6 months and not overwhelmed by content. So I think we're kind of gentler towards the product because of that.
I don't know. I just didn't think, I thought a lot of the matches were, they were there. I mean, again, I think maybe some of it, maybe comparing to Ring of Honor, where every match was good to great.
Yeah.
And to me, in this one, the weakest match at Ring of Honor would have been probably the third best match on this show. Yes. And second best if you don't, because the Great War wasn't really a match. It was, you can't really, compare pre-edited stuff, where you can do multiple takes and things like that, and compare it to, a live wrestling match. They're different animals. But I mean, aside from the X Division match, I mean, there was nothing on this show that would have even been, as good as the Bobby Fish match with Dijak.
I think it's pretty hard to compare the two, though, really, Dave. I mean, it's almost apples and oranges. I mean, ROH has a much more, talented roster than what we have to work with TNA.
True. But, I don't know, they didn't really get, the crowd wasn't really that knew a lot of the stuff, and it just wasn't really it wasn't good wrestling in too many of the matches. And some of them was okay, but, again, I just thought the main event, they were out there kicking out finishers, and they were doing everything that, they laid out the WWE pay-per-view main event, but, man, the selling and the punches and everything, they were in the wrong spots, and I thought it was pretty bad. I mean, especially, I liked Lashley, but he just, I don't know, it was, maybe he was working with EC3, but it just wasn't as good.
All right. Going on from there, though, Alberto Del Rio, tonight he had a no-show, as I saw you tweet about. What's the situation you think going on with Alberto?
I don't know what's going on, but this was one of their big shows of the year, was Heroes and Mortalis, and they announced that they would have a press conference tomorrow to explain that he was the big star on the show. So it doesn't look, it looks real bad for AAA. AAA's been having a tough time anyway. They have a lot of financial issues anyway, and I don't know. It could be Alberto's fault. It could be their fault. I don't know which it is at this state. I just know he didn't come. So it's early to lay blame. I'm sure they'll both have their stories out tomorrow. I don't know. The truth would probably be in the middle, I would think.
Well, will that be it with him in AAA, or is this just
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, look what he did a year ago when he walked out without dropping the title, and they gladly took him back. So, I don't know that it would be it, but I think with him, the one thing is that, he's looking for a lot of money per show, and they don't have a lot of money right now. So he's kind of priced himself out of the Mexico market, it looks like, for the most part.
He seems to have a somewhat strange business sense sometimes when it comes to making these deals and then not showing, or like you say, booking himself out of everybody's price range.
Yeah, he had that show in Yakima that was built around him, and he pulled out of that one as well against Ray.
Yeah.
So, and it could be, he's getting a big deal with Combate Americas, where he's going to be the front man for the company, kind of like their Dana White. So it may just be that he's looking at, I've got this deal, so, I don't feel like working, doing wrestling, and who cares?
Another former WWE talent was in the news a little bit this week as well, Ryback. Scott Coker said they've had preliminary talks with Ryan Ryback. What do you think? Do we see Ryback in a Bellator cage?
My gut says no. I feel it was something that they wanted to talk about. Scott Coker could go he's been interested in doing some pro wrestlers, but CM Punk was a much, much bigger star, obviously, than Ryback, and he was interested in Del Rio, but Del Rio, has a legitimate MMA background, and I think that Coker, kind of this week was talking and goes we probably would want someone who at least has an amateur wrestling background or some jiu-jitsu or something, and he doesn't really have that, so I just don't know, and it's not like some guys, like Punk, for example, really wanted to do it, And my impression from him is that he was certainly willing to do it for a lot of money, but it's not like it's something where I've got it, I've got it in my soul, I've got to do MMA. He was probably just looking at the idea of, hey, maybe I can get a lot of money doing MMA because Punk did, and we'll see how it all transpires, but if I'm going to guess it doesn't happen.
Well, maybe if we could get Punk and Ryback to have an MMA match together based on their past history, that might be something.
They're only 90 pounds apart.
Let's find a catchweight.
That's Scott Coker style. He likes the freak show matches.
Yeah. Japan, they could do it in Japan, I guess.
Yeah.
Perfect. This week, Jamie Noble was in the news, unfortunately. He was stabbed. What's the story here, Dave, with Jamie Noble being stabbed, and what is his current condition?
I don't know details, but I know it's worse than it's being let on, because I heard that the stabbing, the way I heard it was that the knife went through the spine and the lungs.
Yeah.
So he's in the hospital. It was on Wednesday morning. He was driving. He had just driven back from Cleveland from the TVs, and I guess he went out to get, I don't know, he just went to the store and then came back, and some guy in a car jumped out of the car that was trailing him, and you cut me off, and he was trying to apologize, and then the guy just was real rude to him, and I guess the guy had two friends in the back of the car, as backup, and they started arguing, and it turned into a fight, and Noble got on top of the first guy, and then somebody jumped from the back with a knife and stabbed him twice, and then they all drove off, so it's really terrible situation. It's really bad.
It is. It sounds like insane road rage carried to the infinite degree. Like, this is just, that's insane.
Yeah, he was just unlucky to be in, from the police report, it was like he was, he wasn't even trying to do a confrontation. He was just trying to diffuse the situation. And I don't know, it was in the morning. It was on like Wednesday morning. It wasn't like it was like 2 a.m. and it's drunk.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's crazy.
So it's just a weird, bad situation. I mean, for all we know, most likely they didn't even know who he was.
See, that's actually, I was just going to say that. I wonder if they did know who he was.
I don't know, because they sped off and no one's caught him yet, so no one knows for sure.
Yeah, because there's always that thing with guys thinking they can take on wrestlers or whatever, right?
Yeah. It is possible. Yeah, but it didn't. I don't know.
And he's still in the hospital now, right?
Yes.
Right. Wow. Yeah. That's hopefully things work out for him. That's a terrible story.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk a little bit of MMA before we go, Dave. Big week for UFC. UFC 205, which looks like about 3 pay-per-view cards on the same card. You have, on the first match of the night, is going to have Liz Carmouche, who at one point was in the main event of a UFC card.
Not just a main event of a big drawing show.
And she's the curtain jerker on this card. That's insane.
Yeah.
This press conference was amazing. Conor McGregor, once again, excellent. Everything you could ever ask for. He went to the press conference this time properly. And there was no bottle
He wasn't
throwing.
that late either.
Oh, very good.
Although he was late.
Of course. Has to be.
Fashionably late, yeah.
It looks insane, Dave. This has got to bust every record that the UFC has.
I would think so. The one thing is that, they had that one incident with a bottle throwing with the last Diaz fight, which really led to setting a record. And I don't anticipate that. Somebody said that, Dana, grabbed his energy drink can at one point. But I don't know. Yeah, the thing is the depth of this card is just so unreal. We thought UFC 200 was a loaded show. This is a lot more loaded than UFC 200. 3 championship matches. Guys like Frankie Edgar and Rashad Evans, big-time stars, Misha Tate, all in prelims. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be a heavy-duty show. Any early predictions on the buy rate, Dave? Does this one, like Jay said, it's got to be one of the biggest shows ever?
You never know until the week of and all the buzz, but I think with New York and everything,
right.
I've got to think 1.75 million.
Wow.
In that range, and maybe more.
Wow.
Because there's going to be so much more publicity to this show by being in New York than any show they've ever done.
Right.
Plus, it's loaded. Plus, Connor's going to be on fire that last week. So, and Eddie was good. And then you still got, Chris Weidman on the undercard, which is good for New York. And because I really see the big difference is going to be in, New York City, which, usually does okay for UFCs. But I just think that they're going to be on fire for this one, and it's such a big population base. And then everyone else is going to be way up from normal anyway, just because of of the card. So yeah, I think it'll be a record. I think the gate will be a record. It's going to be all, the gate, I don't have a number yet, but I think the gate beat the Toronto gate already.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And it's a much, much smaller place as well. These ticket prices are
probably 17,000 tickets or 18,000 tickets.
Oh, wow.
and ticket prices are ridiculous for this.
Yeah, you couldn't get, I just was looking at the secondary market, and the cheapest price was like $930, and there's like 26 tickets under $1,000 that are available right now.
Insane. Absolutely insane. Who you picking next week, Dave? Henderson or Bisping?
Bisping. Henderson can win because he can always win. He's always got that chance, but I just think he's too slow, and I think that Bisping's just got to avoid that right hand, and he'll win by points, which is, I think, what will happen. I don't see him knocking Henderson out.
Right. Well, his chin hasn't been all that great as of late.
Yeah,
But,
again, if he gets lax for even like a split second, it could be very bad for him. Because, in all the Henderson fights that we've seen, even when some of the ones that he loses, he does, when he hits you, man, it's bad news.
Well, it'll be interesting to watch that rematch of
I'm
UFC
looking forward to it.
100. Dave, what's in the Observer this week?
I've got a Hall of Fame story that was supposed to be in last week's issue. Coverage of all of these shows coming up. And just all the, I don't know. TNA news, I was waiting on Tuesday for the damn thing to break. It still hasn't broke. So it's going to break Monday or Tuesday, or maybe it won't for a couple, now that they got time. Seriously, it may not break till like November.
Well, they're going to be busy with tapings now too, right?
Just watch
They're
out.
going to be they're taping every night, yeah. So
And just watch out for those smashing pumpkins flying through the air.
yeah, wasn't that something? I thought that was pretty funny, actually.
Yeah.
It's a nice little touch.
Yeah.
All right, Dave. Well, we'll talk to you next week after No Mercy at this very same time.
Okay, have a great week.
You too. Dave Meltzer, WrestlingObserver.com is where you can find all of the writing that we talk about with him and his podcast, etc., etc. So do that up. All right now, though, it is time for Title Bout Trivia. Back this week, we'll be giving out a t-shirt from BarbershopWindow.com. Your choice of anything there or at ProWrestlingTees.com as well. Give us a call. Did you pay attention this week? Did you pay attention to what we were talking about? Did you see tonight's show? Hopefully you did. 1-855-591-6876 is the number to call. I need 2 players right now for Title Bout Trivia. 1-855-591-6876. That's coming up next right here on The Law.
Hey yo, Chief Go. Braden Harrington here, technical producer for The Law. If you're looking to pick up chicks or stay on top of all the latest fashion trends, there's only one place you need to go. ProWrestlingTees.com/law. Live Audio Wrestling has our own original t-shirts, including ones with John Pollock's face on it, Wayne Ting's face on it, and luckily none with my face on it. ProWrestlingTees.com/law. We the law.
If you want interviews with wrestling's hottest stars, behind-the-scenes news, and the most complete wrestling package on the World Wide Web, then you want The Law. No-holds-barred wrestling radio, coast to coast, with Dan the Mouth Labrensky and Jason Agnew. Daily updates from The Law's own John Pollock. Plus, uncut, unedited interviews with wrestling's hottest stars and greatest legends. LiveAudioWrestling.com. Log on today.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
Go one-on-one and get it done.
It makes me the best in the world.
Best in the world.
Best in the world.
This is Live Audio Wrestling's Title Bout Trivia.
That is going to be right through the glass window of the barbershop.
Title Bout Trivia time. Your chance to win a t-shirt from BarbershopWindow.com or ProWrestlingTees.com. Lots of awesome shirts. Always new stuff going on these sites.
They do. They put up new shirts on a regular basis. I'm expecting one of all the Hardys, the animated one like we saw in the TNA opening, that will be on a shirt soon. Yeah.
You will buy that shirt.
If they put that one out, I will buy that shirt.
Hey, got a connection. Maybe I'll get you one.
Okay, thanks.
Just saying.
All right.
if you win trivia. Let's see who wins tonight. John, who is playing?
Line 1, Dan is calling from New York.
Uh-huh.
And his opponent on line 2 is Sam from Elmira, Ontario.
All right. Hi, Dan.
How's it going?
Good. You excited for UFC 205?
Yeah, man.
Good stuff. Sam, hi.
Hey.
I would make some reference to something happening in Elora, but I don't know of anything.
Elmira.
Oh, Elmira. Either or.
Yep.
Doesn't change it. All right, Dan versus Sam. Let's see where we're going to send this T-shirt. Guys, we're going to talk about what happened tonight. Dan, what was Brandy Runnels' name in the WWE?
I forgot.
Eden Styles. Eden Styles. I had forgotten too. I had to look it up. Sam, what was the name of the goggles-wearing, pumpkin-smashing character Jeff Hardy turned into tonight?
Willow?
Incorrect. He turned into Itchweed before he turned into Willow.
Willow was the second one.
That's right. Dan, who won the Four Corners survival match at Ring of Honor All-Star Extravaganza on Friday?
I didn't get to see it.
It was Colt Cabana and Dalton Castle. Sam, who wrestled Adam Cole for the Ring of Honor World Championship on Friday?
Mike Logan?
That is correct. For our first correct answer of the game. Dan, who won the TNA Gauntlet match tonight?
Eli Drake?
Yes.
Yeah, dummy.
Dummy. Yeah. All right. Sam, I hate myself for starting to like that, for the record. Sam, who was the first person in the TNA Gauntlet match tonight?
I have no idea.
It was Jesse Goddard, followed by Rockstar Spud. Dan, name one of the three women that were brought back to celebrate Gail Kim tonight.
Awesome Kong?
Yes, that is correct. Also acceptable, Christy Hemme and Taryn Terrell. Hey, Sam, who is Gail Kim married to?
Chef Robert Irvine?
That is correct, either or. I'll take either pronunciation. Very good. You had Chef in there, too, which is perfect. Oh, my goodness. It is 2-2 right now. Dan, on SmackDown, a picture of Miz was going up in the hallway. Whose picture was Miz covering up?
I didn't see that either.
Dan! Come on! LeBron James. LeBron James. The hero. The hero was there in Cleveland. Sam, for the win, name one of the two celebrity friends appearing on Raw tomorrow night.
Ashton Kutcher.
That is correct! Feel great about yourself that you just won a wrestling trivia show with Ashton Kutcher, as you Danny Masterson would have been the other one as well. Hold on the line, Sam. Dan, thank you very much for playing the game.
I thought we were going to have a tie there, and then you were going to force them to be a tag team.
Oh, that would have been great.
That's what I thought was going to happen
I would
there.
have given them matching t-shirts.
Yeah, exactly. They have to wear the same one.
Yes, yes. Tomorrow night, unfortunately, I think we could safely say Ashton Kutcher and Danny Masterson will be on Raw tomorrow night.
Yeah.
This just seems like a big plug for whatever new show they're working on HBO. It seems like they played Brothers on a show. I watched their whole vignette today.
Okay, yeah, I'm guessing. Obviously, these are always usually connected to some promotion of some kind. Yeah.
You know what? And I don't mind it. I mean, Ashton Kutcher in particular is a notable star. I just don't like the fact that you're putting these guys in there with your heavyweight champion and Chris Jericho, who they're elevating right to the top of the card. It has no place there. It has place with the Hype Bros and these guys.
Right.
That's where it's suitable.
Yep.
Not right at the top of the card.
But again, they've done this time. This isn't the first time they've put celebrities involved with top angles.
What's going to happen tomorrow? Is there going to be physical altercation? That'd be terrible.
Yeah, I
They're
agree.
going to fight over being best friends. I mean, maybe Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens get involved in the writing and they surprise us.
That would be nice.
Maybe.
That
Remember
would
the
be
last time there was a celebrity with Kevin Owens? It was Machine Gun Kelly.
That was
he ended up getting
awesome.
powerbombed off the stage.
Right.
That's great.
If we get a code breaker and a pop-up powerbomb to these two guys tomorrow, I'll come on next week and I'll tell you how great it was.
We'll praise it, yeah.
We're going to take a break, come back, and we're going to talk ROH All-Star Extravaganza when we come back right here. It's The Law, Live Audio Wrestling. This audio that you're hearing right now could be yours. Law listeners, Jason Agnew here. If you've got a product, service, or event and you'd like to connect with thousands of wrestling fans across the world, then you should advertise right here on The Law. For more information, send me an email to jason@jasonagnew.com. That's jason@jasonagnew.com. It's your first step to having your voice heard right here on The Law.
You're listening to Live Audio Wrestling
We are the best in the world at what we do.
on TSN Radio.
I'll take it.